What do you think of when you hear the term bail agent? A ruthless bounty hunter, a gun-slinging mercenary bringing in crooks, dead or alive? Or a back alley slime ball working to spring the bad guys the cops work so hard to put away? The fact is, these tired stereotypes could not be further from the truth. Today's bail agents are independent neighborhood businessmen and women who serve an essential function in the criminal justice system, freeing our jails from the costly burden of housing defendants and securely transporting them to and from court. Bail agents work to guarantee that those defendants, once released on bail, will appear in court to face their charges. My name is Robert Forster, and I'd like you to join me now as we meet some of these hard-working bail agents and see how the whole process works. It all starts when somebody gets arrested.
Jones, you've been charged with marijuana possession for sale, and your bail has been set at $50,000.
$50,000? Where am I going to get $50,000? Hey, wait a second. Can you recommend a bail agent?
I'm sorry, I can't recommend any specific bail company. Neither can any of the prisoners. You can use these yellow pages to find a bail company, then use that phone over there.
Big help.
It is prohibited by law for bail agents to solicit business in any jail facility, court, or other place where prisoners are held. Furthermore, bail agents may not pay or give incentives to people inside jails or courts to refer them clients. Bail agents are licensed and strictly regulated by the state's Department of Insurance. Once a bail agent has been chosen, he is contacted regarding the person in custody.
Bail bonds, how can I help you?
Yeah, man, my old lady just got popped. I gotta bail her out right away.
Let me get your name and number, and I'll call you back in a few minutes when I return to my office. In the meantime, I'll need you to gather some information so we can start the process.
Yes. Hi, my name is Mrs. Jones. My husband's been arrested. They say he was growing marijuana with intent to sell, but to be honest, he just smokes a little to help with his headaches.
Intent to sell? How much was confiscated?
Well, the garage was full of plants. The police hauled it all away in, like, 3 trucks.
Look, I think I can help you. Let me first ask a couple of questions. What is the name of the arrestee?
Gary Jones.
Gary. When was he arrested, and where is he being held?
Oh, he was arrested today, and he's being held at the Central Station downtown.
Central? Okay.
There seems to be a misunderstanding about the car rental agency. I was a little late returning the vehicle, but I sure didn't steal anything. This whole thing's crazy. But I do need to get out so I can get to work.
Okay, so what is your booking number, and what exactly is the charge?
See, my booking number is 7243306, and they charged me with Grand Theft Auto. Can you believe that?
Besides getting all the information necessary to get started, the bail agent must usually educate each client regarding the whole process. Here's how it works. First, the amount of the bail needs to be determined. This will establish the cost of the bond and the bail premium. These costs are set by rates filed with the California Department of Insurance and are non-negotiable. The bail premium is the bail agent's compensation and is not returned to the defendant nor the co-signer. Next, the agent needs to know where the arrestee is being held and what they're being charged with. How long have they been in custody? Have they ever been arrested before, and are there any prior convictions? Information must then be gathered to qualify the potential co-signer. How is the signer related to the arrestee, and how long have they known them? These are serious issues that need to be explained in much depth and in language understandable to the client.
Si su hijo no asiste en cada de las citas en la corte referente a este caso? usted será financieramente responsable.
Entiendo.
Once this information is gathered, the bail agent must then contact the facility where the arrestee is being detained. The arrestee's bail information needs to be verified, including booking name, bail amount, arrest charge, booking number, and court appearance information, detailing where and when the defendant needs to show up.
Hi, Deputy. The reason for my call this morning is to get bail information on arrestee Brian Edmonds.
Okay, last of Edmonds, Edward David Mary, Union Nora David Sam.
Once this information is received, it is time for the cosigner to meet with the bail agent to complete the bond. The cosigner or cosigners must present pertinent documents such as their identification, tax records, proof of employment, and proof of collateral, such as a title to a car or real property to indemnify the bond. To indemnify means that should the arrestee fail to make all his or her court appearances pertaining to the case, the court would then forfeit the bail and the bail agency would have the statutory time to return the defendant to court. In California, this is 180 days. If they fail, the bail agency must pay the full value of the bond demanded by the state. Once this agreement is reached, the bail bond contract is explained in detail and signed. Copies are given to the cosigner or cosigners. Money is then paid for the bail premium, the bail agent's fee, which is usually 10% of the amount of the bond. This can be paid by either cash, credit card, or check. Agreements are signed and copies of all the documents are given to the signer. The arrestee's court appearance requirements are thoroughly explained, making sure the signer knows exactly when and where the arrestee must appear for arraignment. The bail agent then explains the signer's liability and potential risk of collateral loss. It is now time for the bail agent to post the bond at the jail for the arrestee's release.
Can I help you?
I'm here to post bail for Andre Fontenelle.
The bondsman completes the necessary information on the bail bond and then gives it to the jailer. The jailer, of course, needs to carefully verify all the necessary information, including the bail agent's identity and the validity of the bond. The defendant is then reissued their personal property and released into the custody of the bail agent. The agent then meets with the defendant to gather personal information such as current and former residences and how long they have lived there. Detailed contact information is collected as well as family, employment, and personal reference. Should the defendant fail to appear, the bail agent needs to know where to start looking for them. Before they are set free, the bail agent makes sure the defendant knows exactly where and when they need to appear and the possible consequences if they don't. The defendant is now released, but the bail agent's job is far from over. The bondsman must continuously monitor and make sure the defendant lives up to their obligation to appear. Should the defendant attempt to flee, it becomes the responsibility of the bail agent to return them to custody. Otherwise, the bail agency will ultimately be held liable for the entire cost of the bond. It is the duty of the bail agent, therefore, to do everything in his power to bring the arrestee back to custody. When the bail agent effects a return to custody, it is called the surrender process. The court notifies the bail agent of the defendant's failure to appear, the bond is forfeited, a warrant is usually issued, and law enforcement is notified. Thankfully, most forfeitures are handled over the phone or with personal contact with the defendant, their families, or a cosigner. This avoids the burden of rearresting the defendant, and they return to court voluntarily. In this way, bail agents work with their clients to keep costs and liability to a minimum.
Andre, we missed you this morning. I completely forgot. We're going to have to take you downtown to resolve this issue.
Occasionally, the bail agent finds that the defendant is already in custody, sometimes on an unrelated or new charge. The bail agent then needs only to notify the court of this fact, allowing the court to have the defendant brought before the judge while still in custody. The advantage here is that it will ensure that the defendant is brought into court in time. This assures that their rights will not be violated and helps maintain the smooth operation of the court. This is referred to as a paper surrender. Sometimes, however, it is the family or cosigner who must inform the bail agent of the arrestee's intention to flee.
No puedes hacer esto, Pablo.
No voy a regresar a la cárcel. Puedo llegar a México. Nadie me encontraría.
Pero, hijo.
Discúlpeme.
Pablo.
Bail bonds, how can I help you?
Soy la señora Fernández. Sí. Mi hijo está huyendo a México.
Only when it becomes absolutely necessary will the bail agent arrange for the arrest of the defendant. This can be accomplished in the following ways. The bail agent locates the defendant and arranges for local law enforcement to effect the arrest based on the warrant issued by the judge. The bail agent can locate and arrest the defendant on their own and return them to custody of the court, or the bail agent can arrange for a legally qualified bail fugitive recovery specialist, or bounty hunter, to locate the defendant, arrest them, and return them to the custody of the court. In some cases, in cooperation with the agent, the court will set aside the forfeiture and reinstate the bail, releasing the defendant back on bail. The whole process is only over when the court exonerates or forgives the bail and the collateral is returned to the signer. This can only happen in one of three ways. The defendant is found guilty and sentenced. The defendant is found not guilty and the case is dismissed, or the defendant is returned to custody by the bail agent. The system of bail has been around for a very long time. It was first codified back in the days of English common law, and it's a system that still works today. In Los Angeles County, bail agents have an extremely high success rate in ensuring that defendants appear for sentencing. They save Californians millions of dollars each year by alleviating overcrowding in our jails, thus making room for criminals who are a serious threat to society, and they promote even further tax savings by placing the cost of operating the bail bond system not on the innocent taxpayer, but on the user of the system itself, the defendant. It's a big job, but fortunately there are qualified men and women who choose to do it. These are members of your community who make it their business to help protect our civil liberties and keep the criminal justice system running smoothly. These are your friendly neighborhood bail agents.